What's good, good people? What's good? I'm sorry, I'm sweating now. You had me in here dancing. La-di-da-di-dee.
I don't know what that move was that you were doing when you came in here.
La-di-da-di-da. That was the old man that don't know how to dance and move. That's what that is. Man, you brought back some old memories. I was about to call some people up. You remember when? No, I wasn't.
Let me guess, you were breakdancing to that.
Huh?
You broke
You know,
dance?
I used to break dance. I couldn't do all that twirling around on my back and all that, but I can break dance. You just don't know, bruh. If you call any one of the people in my high school class, they will tell you, "Oh, gee, yeah, he can dance. He won several dance contests." Me and a guy by the name of Claude Harrington, we had a dance team together. Nobody could whip us. I was a bad boy. That's when I was limber.
The Nutty Brothers?
Huh?
The Nutty Brothers?
We were no. Let me stop. But no, we used to dance. I mean, I still dance, but I don't do like I used to.
Well, I will attest to it. Yeah, you can dance because
Can you dance?
I was more the one that made everybody dance. I used to back in my lighter days.
You still do.
Back in my lighter days.
But you still
I used
do
to break.
make everybody dance.
Yeah.
I mean, give yourself some credit there, because you a bad DJ. You a bad boy. You are a
Thank
bad
you,
boy.
sir. Thank you, sir.
I recommend you. You know that, right?
Oh, yeah, I've gotten the calls.
Okay. So when people be like, when the DJ, I got one sit right beside me just about almost every day. You call him up. He ain't gonna daggone. He ain't coming out there for free.
I
tried to.
They
I
gotta
do
know
your pitch
that.
for you, but I do your pitch for you.
They gotta know that.
He ain't coming out there for free. That was pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Okay, I'm gonna say it one more time.
I should make an ad with it.
Just say it one more time for somebody that's trying to say, you know what, we need to call him for. He ain't coming out there for free.
Bro.
And don't try to cheap him, because he gonna hang up on you. I got you.
I will.
I got you. I got you.
I've done it before, but I can attest that you can dance because I've seen many a happy hours. Yeah.
I don't even remember them happy hours, bro. It was Stoli's vodka and orange juice. That's what that was. What was dancing, not me. Okay, you know what?
Out there swinging your suit jacket above your head. Yeah.
No, now you went too far.
Because I told the truth.
Nope. But I do remember this. There's plenty of nights I don't even remember them happy hours.
Believe it or not,
wake up the next day and be like, I had a certain amount of money in my pocket. What happened to it? And see somebody at the store, they'd be like, man, what's going on? Geez, like, hey, what's that, man? Man, you bought everybody at the bar something. Really? Yeah. Be like, now you know what happened to your money. But I was having fun back then.
It was nothing but fun back then.
No problems.
I don't know what those kids are doing now, man, but club scene is not.
I think a lot of our places where the middle class, and I'm not downgrading anyone, but the places where the working class, middle class, and places like that could go, where we bought drinks, where we spent money, where we had a good time, where all of us were working and getting off and coming over and doing those things, middle class 40 plus, like, disappeared.
I remember people used to skip eating lunch because they said, man, I'm going to happy hour.
I'm going to happy hour. They got the fish. They got, what else they had?
Fried chicken, red beans,
fish.
jambalaya.
Yep.
Pasta.
Yep.
All kinds of, man, that was, you don't see that at all anymore. Not at all.
Nope. Unless you're going to an event.
Yeah.
That's it. So, I don't know what happened in them days. I guess, cost of inflation to do it. Maybe that kicked in.
Yeah.
I know that they do something of that sort. And somebody gonna call and tell them I'm talking about it, but over at the Verdict, they do it on happy hour. They do a very good happy hour.
I'll tell you what killed it. Katrina. We were going strong before Katrina.
Did Katrina kill it?
Yeah.
Well, this city lost, and I hope everybody understands what that looks like. We're down to 350,000 people. At one point in time, New Orleans was over 600,000. Mm-hmm. We lost for Katrina 150,000 people that went all over the world, all over the country. And those people, and I'm not saying that in a derogatory manner, so I hope everybody understands.
Just be honest with it.
Those people had to live. So they had a one-way ticket on the helicopter going somewhere, and nobody ever said, "Oh, you can come back," or they never told them how they were going to get their house fixed, or they never told them what their kids were going to be able to go to school, or they never told them what job they were going to have. So they ended up living in that area, wherever they were dropped off, and life happened. I got my kids enrolled in school.
Mm-hmm.
I got me a job.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, somebody said, "Wait a minute.
Why am I going to go back to that?
I got a nice place that I live in. I got a nice neighborhood I got in. I
Mm-hmm.
ain't got none of the crime stats. What I'm going to go back to that for? I'm comfortable."
Exactly.
And they stayed.
Mm-hmm.
So we just look around and say, I had to come back home. A lot of the folks that did live here came back because they didn't know how to live anywhere else. They just didn't.
Well, the only reason I came back is because my house is paid for.
Right.
That's the only reason.
I would have came back too. But the other thing is, remember, and you're going to remember this. Remember, after Katrina, we'd be sitting there watching the TV, and what you'd see was the kids that were in other cities like Houston, Dallas, and all that. They would have the helicopters flying over those schools because they would have riots at those schools because those kids were fighting the kids from New Orleans.
They didn't want us there.
They didn't want us there. So, that was a test of time for me of, okay, somebody going to be here and they're going to come back. Then we found out in statistics that a lot of the kids that ended up moving away that couldn't cope came back here on their own. And so they ended up raising themselves, living in their houses with no sheetrock, no power, no water. And the only meals they were getting were the ones that they would have at school each day. So we were hearing that the kids were really waiting for school to open up on Monday because the last meal they really had was on Friday after they left school. They didn't have any food on Saturday.
That's when
Sunday.
the crime went up.
Yep. So we found that out. And then I looked around and said to myself, how in the world, and I mean the seriousness, seriously, how can we ever live in a city that they really don't care or think about the trauma that we've been through when we start talking about food? How can you tell me that you want to stop feeding these kids with SNAP or with any other type of services when they've already been through that trauma?
Yep.
And we saw what happened. It caused crime. It caused a whole bunch of situations. So it's interesting to me that the decision makers, whether we're talking about the governor, whether we're talking about the president or any of the lawmakers, have they ever really thought about the fact that we've already been through? That's 20 years ago. So those kids that were going through that then didn't forget because they went through it, and now their kids are getting ready to go through it.
Mm-hmm.
So we can't sit around and just think that that's okay. We have to really take in consideration the things of the past. And I forgot who said that yesterday. Somebody said, it's interesting to me because they always want us to forget our past, but we never forget anybody else's past.
Exactly.
So
get over it.
Yeah. Kevin, what's up?
Oh, hello.
Yay, what's happening?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm getting a phone call at the same time I'm talking. I thought you could hear. Look, man, I'm a broken record, okay? I think we don't realize we are part of this equation. This stuff is not happening. It's like we're not in it. I mean, you can't escape the fact that all these circumstances we're talking about, we are actually players in that. Okay. The broken record part of me is saying this. We've been here for 400 450 years, over 400 years we've been going through this. And we haven't been talking about the trauma of 400 years and counting of trauma that we're going through. Now, it's not just people acting on us. It's how we're responding to it or not, because we act like we have a disassociative connection to our own circumstance and our own reality. So the bottom line is, if we don't, and I say we, this could be anybody who is being affected by things and they don't like the outcome, we have to act on this situation.
Hello? Oh, we lost him? Okay. You got to take the break? Yeah, you got to take the break. We'll come back. More in just a minute, y'all. And we'll go down memory lane some more and have that conversation. Got to say what's up to my friend. What's going on, Reverend Percy Howard? That's a praying man there, boy. That's a praying man. Reverend Percy, I see you Sunday. I see you in church. More coming up, y'all. We got to take the break. Hold on.
On Auto Trends with JeffCars.com, here's a snippet of some of what we cover. GPS pioneer Gladys West.
We worked long hours computing trajectory orbits and satellite orbits, trying to get the data and everything correct enough.
Auto analyst Mark Bland.
14 new vehicle deals that happen in this country out of every 100 that women don't have a fingerprint on.
To tune in, check out Auto Trends with JeffCars.com, Saturdays at 4 p.m. on WBOK, what New Orleans is talking about.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana communities through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation, please visit us at www.jazzandheritage.org.
Are you passionate about community safety and police accountability? Tune in to The Monitor's Mic, where we talk about oversight, policing, and you. Hosted by the Office of Independent Police Monitor, we're here to shine a light on policing issues that matter, from real-time policing updates to in-depth interviews. Get the facts and stay informed. We're breaking down complex issues, highlighting community voices, and holding people behind the badge accountable. Join us for an informative hour every Friday at noon on WBOK. Your city, your police, your show. The Monitor's Mic.
Don't wait. Call Brandon Moore today at 504-666-6163. He's the finance man at Matt Bowers Ford, 3724 Veterans Boulevard. No credit, bad credit, he'll get you rolling. That's Brandon Moore, 504-666-6163.
Come see me and we'll make it happen.
Criminals are escaping at will. The jail locks don't work. Our courtrooms are not secure. Our jail is out of control. We need a tough sheriff who can fix it, like Bob Murray.
You know me. I'm Bob Murray. With your vote, I can fix it. Paid for by the community like Bob Murray? Sure. Number 3 on the ballot.
Visit DePaul's new Algiers Health Center at 2801 General de Gaulle Drive to receive primary and preventive care for both adults and children. Services also include behavioral health, imaging, and on-site pharmacy, vision, Medicaid enrollment assistance, and more. For appointments, visit DePaulCommunityHealthCenters.org or call 504-207-3060.
This year marks 20 years since Hurricane Katrina changed our city and our schools forever. New Schools for New Orleans is sharing After the Storm, a special series reflecting on the past 2 decades of change and progress in public education. Through videos, personal stories, and a powerful interactive timeline and data dashboard, we explore how our schools recovered, transformed, grew, and what that progress means for our students today. Discover the videos, data, resources, and stories behind the 20 years of change at newschoolsforneworleans.org/Katrina20.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. go. The Reality Check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back.
I just had to make sure that you were finished saying what you were saying.
And let me be the first one to say, thank you.
You're welcome.
You know how they say in church? Thank you.
Thank you kindly.
Yeah, but I don't. I don't look at the politics. I mean, have you gone to any of these forums? Any of these political forums?
Nope.
None?
Nope.
Not one?
I find out after the fact.
You got to go to one.
I used to go. I've been to the ones that Cindy held.
I like. Let me.
But this was years ago. This was before Oliver took over.
Let me make sure that I say this, so because a lot of the political folks, they listen.
Do you need to make a disclaimer?
This is gonna be my disclaimer.
Okay.
So a lot of the political folks, I know they listen, and then when I say something, they call me later on and tell me, "You ain't doing no favoritism. You said something about me. I heard what you said about me." Blah, 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 blah. Come on.
I say it about everybody.
So a lot of the conversations that I want to do as far as debates are concerned, or forums here at the radio station, I'm more than likely I'm going to pass. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I don't like being under that scrutiny.
This would be the first election that you have not done that.
Yeah. I think I'm going to pass. And then my association with Susan Hudson.
Yeah, that's conflict of interest.
That's a conflict of interest for me. Yeah. And I'll tell anybody, look, I was one of the biggest advocates for Woodfork, Michelle.
Yeah.
When she was going for the superintendent's job.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm working and doing work with Susan, and Michelle Woodfork's running for the same position. So it's just like what Pop Jones told me. He said, "Bro, you're in a rock and a hard place." I said, somewhat yes, and somewhat no. I got to do the work.
Yeah.
I'm obligated. I signed a contract for that. So I'm obligated to do the work.
Mm-hmm.
And I see the hard work that goes into it and the stuff that comes out. So
it's a lot.
You see me when I come in here.
Yeah, you dragging.
I'm dragging.
You are dragging when you come in.
And I think the last conversation that you and I had was, how you going to keep doing this? And somebody asked me at the sheriff's office, said, "Bro, if you got to decide which one you going to continuously do," I couldn't tell them I'm going to do this over here. I couldn't.
Right.
Because I see the work and see the results of what's happening. Y'all don't know how bad people doing. You hear some of them. So I could sit here and tell you some stories right now, and you'd be like, you lying. And I called Susan, put her on the phone, and tell the story, Susan. She'd tell you the same thing. Without even me texting her or nothing, she'd tell you the same thing. I mean, you got to understand something, that there are generational folks in that jail. We don't realize that. And it's us.
Nepotism is a beast.
Bro, they got daddies, mamas, sons, daughters. They got whole families in there. They had guys that tell you on one side of the jail, "Hey, man, when you go to the other side where the ladies are, could you tell my sister I said hey?" Like, what? Yeah. Who in here from your family? My daddy, me.
Oh, now see, when I said nepotism, I thought you were talking about the workers.
No,
You're talking about
I'm talking about the inmates.
Yeah.
That are in there. No.
Wow.
No, that's what I'm talking about, that are in there. And it's becoming, it's getting better. It's a long way to go, but it's getting better. And I'm not going to sit here and hype up Susan and tell you the work. She going to be able to tell you about that. I think that'll only be right. That's number one. But a lot of the stuff that we see is generational stuff that has happened for years. And I think, too, when you start talking about what's happening in our communities, what Katrina did, what the school system did, what we did, because we got to take some responsibility for this, too.
Yep.
And I'm talking about to our kids, not raising them right, letting them raise themselves, having conversations with others and not realize there's so many tentacles to what we have and what we've seen, that those stories that get told and that are going to get told for Katrina can be heartbreaking. They really can. They can be heartbreaking. And all of those folks that sit back and think that they're glamour or they're better than thou, I hope that y'all understand that the folks that are struggling the worst in the city of New Orleans are us.
I got a staunch reminder the other day of just how serious Katrina was. Because, after so many years, you put things out of your mind or in the back of your mind.
Mm-hmm.
And I was on Facebook, and people talking about the 20th anniversary of Katrina coming up and whatnot. I'm like, I'm just wish it would stop celebrating, but for some reason we celebrate stuff like that.
I don't think it's a celebration. I think it's more of remembering and memorializing.
Some of us are trying to forget it.
Yeah.
But
you can never, that's something that you never forget.
The staunch reminder that I got, this person posted the most graphic pictures I've ever seen Facebook let get through. Because normally we'll block stuff like that out.
Mm-hmm.
It was pictures of the corpses
right
in water floating. This one man body was hanging on a fence.
Have you seen Malik Raheem's photos on YouTube?
Malik, I don't think I follow Raheem. I think we're friends on there, but I don't think I follow.
When you get a minute, go on YouTube and take a look at his. Malik Raheem is covering people with just the boards from houses and stuff of men and women that they left in the middle of the street.
Yeah,
that the way in
the
the water.
One picture was the troops were walking by and this body just laying there in the street, and they're walking by like it's nothing.
Lawrence Weathersby, Pastor Lawrence Weathersby, or a lot of folks who know him as Pastor Lawrence Weathersby from Living the Word Church in Slidell.
Mm-hmm.
Was one of the deputy superintendents at NOPD when Katrina hit, and he got on those boats, and you could hear you're driving,
bump.
Yeah, just bumping on.
I
the
heard
side
about
of the
that
boat.
from other people
what is
too.
That?
You're not the only person that has told that.
And he said, "Man, you don't know what that is." I was like, "What is that?" He said, "That's bodies. We would have to stop and actually hook the body, bring it to the boat. We couldn't put it in the boat. There's too many of them.
Yeah.
And we had to tie a rope around their foot and drag them to the next intersection where the stop sign was and tie around the stop sign. Just so when the water went down, they wouldn't be floating in the water. They'd be right there so that the coroner could pick them up. And let me tell you, one of the most ugliest things that you will see in life is a bloated body.
Yeah, it's not pretty. Not pretty at all.
Because after that, the coroner had to come through with that big old, it looked like a pitchfork end, and pop them. Pop. So all that gook and stuff would run out. It was not pretty, bro. I think I told you something too. That was the first time that I ever saw garfish. And I was like,
yeah, you did say that.
What in the world is this from the devil? I'd never seen a garfish before. And it was not a little garfish.
Well, those suckers get big.
It was
real
a big garfish that got stuck in the fence. The water went down and got stuck in the fence. And it was doing this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was like, wait a minute. This thing is biting.
Yeah, you don't want to get bit by that thing either.
No.
It would take your finger off.
Mm-mm.
I caught one out of a canal one time. And we didn't know what to do with it because I was like,
they said that's
10.
some of the best meat that you could possibly eat, but I was like, throw it back.
I was 10 the first time I caught one, ever saw it. And we were like, what do we do with this thing? We just started beating it with the bat, trying to kill it. That thing would not die.
I was not.
So we just cut the line and tossed it back in the water.
I was looking at it. I ain't moved. Then I went further down. We were in Chalmette. They were dredging one of the canals because it had so much sediment in it after Katrina, and you couldn't have the water to run out.
Yeah.
And they had a big excavator. one of them big cat excavator, and it was digging all the sediment and mud and all of that out of the canal so that the water could run. Man, that excavator hit that canal and dug up, and when it came up, nothing but big black snakes started jumping out that bucket. Boy, when I tell you I was out of there, that was enough. I cannot stand no snakes. None. None.
I forgot about you and snakes.
No, sir. No, sir. They were like, Jay, where you going? I was like, this hit for me today.
The hell
I
with
had
you?
on my Tyvek suit, my boots, and my hat, and all that. I'm out. I'm out. It's too many of them. I had never seen that many snakes.
Since you brought up canals, and when we say things on the air here, it gets done. The canals in New Orleans East really need a good cleaning because there are so many lilies, and
it always be
the
that
plant. You could walk on them.
They spray them. They end up spraying them, and it kills them, and they sink to the bottom.
It's
they
real
probably haven't
bad
sprayed
right
them
now.
this year.
It's bad.
Is it that bad?
Yeah, it's that bad because, I mean, hurricane season is coming up. You don't know if a storm is going to come out, and we depend on those canals to keep the water flow from building up.
On Morrison?
All the canals, you go down Lake Forest, you go down to I-10, down Morrison, all of them have buildup, real bad buildup.
They usually go there and spray them, and they kill them. And
they were out there. This was
what's
2
the
years
lily
ago.
pads? It's the lily pads, the green pads.
Yeah, lily pads.
Yeah.
2 years ago, they were out there with a big excavator, like you said, and they were pulling all that out with the excavator. And it came right back.
Yeah, it comes right back. You got to pull it from the roots.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's take some of these calls. Mr. Elmo.
Hey, man, how you doing?
What's going on with you?
Oh, brother, it always could be better, but it's better when I talk to you and the brother.
Well, good to know that. What you got?
Look, I'm listening to what your brother's saying makes a very good point. I live in New Orleans East, and those Louse canals, have all that debris growing. And it makes you wonder how you have good flow of water with all that debris in there. So I was just wondering who's responsible for cleaning it up?
Sewage and Water Board.
The city or the state? Who's responsible?
Sewage and Water Board, and also
Sewage
Park
and
and
Water Board?
Parkways.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna say this, and maybe you like the comment, maybe you don't, but I'm just, listen, Susan Hudson and the brother before her, it's amazing all the flack and everything was thrown at them. But it's so amazing when 40 was there 99,000 years. Ain't nobody saying a whole lot of thing about him. But it's just amazing. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not about who's doing right or wrong, but let's be fair. Nobody said a whole lot about 40. And we in the black administration under 40, with 40 is there, more black folks then than now. And ain't nobody said nothing too much about 40.
I think we were at another place too with that, because to me, now this is just my opinion. I just don't think it was a jail then. I thought it was a prison because they had over 6,000 people over there then, and they did say something about 42 because it was at least 2 or 3 people during that administration a year that ended up being killed in that jail.
Well, I think Gerod, they may have said more after he left than when he was there.
Well, remember, he ended up being the attorney general, too.
Yes, sir. But
Okay.
this is the thing. But this is the thing that bothers me. And it really bothers me. I mean, I've been all over the world. United States, oh, boy, had more people incarcerated in jails and primary Afro-American men and women than any free country, so-called free democracy country.
But it's still that way. It hasn't
It's still
changed.
that way.
Yeah.
It's still that way. In New Orleans, I mean, you had more percentage per capita Afro-American men and women in jail than anybody. Now, one of the main reasons we could talk all about, well, you commit a crime, you should do the time. I know people are gonna say that, but the bottom line is a lot of times that's poor folk, and I wasn't always rich. Poor folk didn't have any good people to represent them, and they just throw them under the bus, like, if you will. And when you're poor, you don't have people represent you well, and that's not fair. You shouldn't be put under the bus because you're poor. But that's sad, I mean, because you have now since since Dutch. Think about it. We've had black leadership since Dutch. The only mix with that was Landrieu, and no telling who's going to be the mayor this time. I'm hoping differently, but I can see.
Who do you hope is going to be the mayor?
You want to be honest with you?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm hoping that Oliver Thomas become mayor.
Okay.
And no, being very honest with you, and let me tell you why I think, and historically, if the young man could speak for against what I'm saying, I appreciate it. But being someone living in New Orleans East,
the what?
I've always been someone who lived in New Orleans East, and I kind of understand the politics. I know we lost a lot of people since Katrina, but it always was said, and it was factual. What I basically was saying that. If you, Andrew, please forgive me for using you, but I'm just saying examples. This said Gerod Stevens would run. You're a New Orleans Easterner, and say you was a councilman or councilman at large, or more than likely you were still well liked. So
I used to live in New Orleans East. I lived in New Orleans East during Cindy Wynn's first term.
Okay. So what I'm saying, Gerard, if you will like what you are well like as a broadcaster, but if you was running for politics, I'm sure you'd still be well liked. So if you had New Orleans East population, we still a decent population live back here. Basically, if you got New Orleans East, hey, dude, you won. Basically, so I'm just hoping, if Oliver get a large percentage of New Orleans East, and I'm sure he get other parts of the city, I think he could do well. I think polls right now, I'm only giving you my opinion. I'm not a pollster. I ain't gonna say I'm in the know. I'm only giving an opinion as a citizen. I think a lot more about this will happen in the future. We just have to hope for the best and see. Let the chips fall within me.
I just think the first thing you got to start with New Orleans East is start picking up the trash. You got too much trash. I think people are tired of living in squalor. So first thing that I would do is look at every major section of the highway to whatever other part of the city. But I would start at Crowder. Well, Morrison. I start at Morrison, go to Crowder. After go to Crowder, go to Reed, and go to Bullard. And make sure that those off ramps are cut, and then make sure that they pick up the trash that's on the side of the road. And the other part I can't stand, I know somebody gonna say, "Boy, you hit it on the head when you say this," but after y'all cut that grass, rake that dead grass up. You all right over there?
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah. Rake that dead grass up. It makes it look like it's not cut. Rake that dead grass up. And believe it or not, Mr. Elmore, I know somebody going to go, we need to go check that. The contract for cutting the grass states that those people that have those contracts are supposed to make sure that grass is up. Because it kills the rest of the grass. It's on top of the grass that's alive, and it kills the rest of the grass. So they're supposed to get it up. The other part of that is get you an arborist that can cut and trim those trees. The trees are reaching the ground on side of the highway. The limbs, they're reaching the ground. You need an arborist. Why ain't they cutting those trees? The third thing that I would do is I would have me a power wash team. That's the team that needs to be on side of the highway, that needs to be over there by those cement walls, the bridges, and everything else, and power wash that cement. The cement looks like it's 80 years old, but if you power wash it and because there ain't nothing but dirt, just get the dirt off of it. It would make it look like it's brand new.
Gerard, who's responsible, the city or the state?
The city and the state, because a lot of that's got to do with DOTD. But just talk to them. Tell them what you want. And then the other part of it, I got to tell you what DOTD is. We need a relining of the stripes on the road. Some of those areas where they got the stripes been down so long you can't even see the stripes no more. Restripe the roads so that you can see at night, so that you can see during the day, and of course you'll know what lane you're supposed to be in and stop cutting people off.
And
but this is the thing, Gerard. I mean, what you're saying is a lot of us are saying it. I mean that we pay taxes like everybody else in the city. And the thing about it is, like,
But
you
a lot of
noticed
that's
that
just common
we
sense and
we
common
noticed
sense.
that a lot.
Mr. Elmore, a lot of that's just common sense, and common sense ain't so common these days.
I'm going to add another one in
that's
for
true.
you.
That's true.
Between Reed and Morrison, if you're driving in what we call the fast lane, man, they got bumps on there. It's like speed bumps where the road has buckled under that asphalt that they laid on top of the original concrete.
What's the street that Neo's is on? What's that street? Is that
Banks?
That's Banks. Go straight down.
No,
Banks.
Bienville. I'm
Is
sorry,
that
Bienville.
Go down Bienville and keep going. Your car will end up airborne at some of these stops that are not stop signs because the road has buckled when you're crossing over the neutral ground. And your car has a big hump in it, and if you don't slow down, your car will go airborne. Some of this is not anything except common sense. And common sense, Mr. Elmore, ain't so common these days.
Well, that's true.
So I don't know what else to tell you. I appreciate you, though, my friend.
Oh, boy.
All right, let me take my break. I appreciate
yes,
you.
All right,
I'll
buddy.
talk to you in a minute. All right, we can take a break here. We'll come back. Have some more conversation, y'all.
Attention, WBOK listeners. Are you a fan of the station and want to show your support and style? Well, we've got some exciting news for you. Introducing the official WBOK merchandise, the perfect way to wear your love for the station. Whether you're a longtime listener or a new fan, we've got something for everyone. Head to WBOK1230.com now and grab your WBOK gear before it's gone. When you buy WBOK merch, you're not just getting quality items, you're supporting the station you love.
Tired of the impersonal, one-size-fit-all style of banking? You deserve a bank that delivers exceptional service and personalized attention to your needs. That's the Home Bank Standard. Since 1908, Home Bank has been a trusted financial partner for businesses and families because we go the extra mile to help you reach your goals. See for yourself why Home Bank is good for business, good for life. Stop by any New Orleans area location or find out more at home24bank.com. Home Bank, member FDIC.
Hi, this is Cary Grant. Let's elevate every Tuesday through Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. as we discuss the community, the country, and the world, from politics to current events and sports. We look forward to your input and continuing the quality programming on your community station, WBOK. Join us every Tuesday through Thursday, 6 to 7 p.m. on Elevated Conversations, the Arnie and Cary Show.
Hey, New Orleans, look for important changes to your natural gas service. This summer, Delta Utilities takes over for Entergy Gas with a Louisiana-born, Louisiana-based approach to safe, clean, reliable natural gas. No interruptions or rate changes due to the transition, just dependable service and modernized technology to keep you running smoothly. Get to know us at deltautilities.com and stay tuned for more later this summer. Delta Utilities, focused on natural gas, committed to New Orleans.
Hey, Puncher Train Park. Thanks for listening to WBOK.
Here we go. The Reality Check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. All right, Kevin.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
I wasn't sure if y'all was gonna have me back on. I got disconnected. Look, first of all, I just want to say, man, look, we're all black, white, and everybody else have been made insane by rich people trying to stay rich. And they're using racism, classism, sexism, all that to keep us bamboozled and distracted. Okay. The bottom line is this. There is no perfect solution. The only perfect approach to this is, I heard you say you didn't want to get involved with because you have some special, conflict of interest with politics and stuff. Look, we involved with politics whether we like it or not. Either we sitting at the table or we on the menu. And basically we're talking about how we're on the menu. okay, because we're not engaged in a significant way, African American. And really, it's really poor people, quite frankly. It's not just African American, because it's not all poor people are subject to the same consequences, whites, blacks, and everybody else. We might feel good because someone told us we white, but the bottom line is, I don't know if you notice how those people living. They're angry because they're not living well, most of them. Okay, just like we aren't, just like black people who are not comfortable aren't happy either. Okay, so the bottom line is, get with your friends. I don't care who they are. Forget about whatever y'all come up with being perfect, because it's not perfect. If you look at the people who we call leaders, the ones who come from supposedly the intellectual class, who got all the alphabets behind their names and stuff, these are the people who have gotten it to this point. So it would be insane to think that the same people who got us to this point is going to get us out of this, because sometimes you got to believe what you're living.
Okay.
These people aren't capable of doing anything other than getting us to what we're at. We got to quit talking about this black trauma porn and start coming up with solutions. And the solution is, each and every one of us have a responsibility to be accountable to come up with whatever solutions that we can muster up with our friends and family to do something sensible in our community, and make sure we understand that all of us are in the same community. So if someone is successful, we have to encourage people to listen to what we've come up with for solutions, not just talking about the trauma. We got to talk about the solutions to the trauma. We got to talk about the trauma. Trauma is real, but that can't be the priority. The priority is to talk about the trauma so we can identify what we don't want to happen again and come up with solutions. So this is what happened. This was the circumstances that we were in that allowed this to happen. Now, what can we do differently to get a different result? That's the solution to insanity.
Okay.
Do something different.
I got you. All right, Kevin. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, T-Bone.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Good evening. How y'all doing?
Good.
So, I agree with the doctor. We shouldn't be calling it an anniversary. Like, there's something sweet about what happened with Katrina. I mean, look, in memoriam, and remember those that we lost. Definitely remember those that we lost, and the other things that we lost throughout the city. But let me come with a lighter tone. So when Katrina happened, I was already in Texas. I moved to Texas the year before Katrina. And my sister's family and my mom ended up evacuating to Texas, and we was in an apartment. And I think I told this part of the story, but let me tell you what the after is. So I had 13 people in a 2-bedroom apartment for 2 months until they was able to get themselves together, get some arrangements, and find an apartment nearby. So fast forward to today. My sister has 4 kids, 2 girls, 2 boys, and they were among that 13. 3 out of the 4 kids had 2 kids apiece. So now my sister is a grandmother. My mom is a great-grandmother. And 2 of those kids, one became a nurse, and the other one became a federal law enforcement officer. So when I say God is good, God is good. Because at first, I had out with my wife. She didn't want them to evacuate by us. She was going through stuff because she was pregnant at the time. But I told her, hey, that thing is set to hit New Orleans head on. I'm not telling them to turn around. And after a while, she got all right with it, especially when we saw everything going down on the news. And so, on a lighter note, majority of those kids, I would say boldly, that survived Katrina, evacuated whatever way they could, they did all right. And so God bless. You know what I'm saying? God bless.
Mm-hmm. Well, we had a lot of stories that I think are untold during Katrina. A lot of folks have PTSD and don't want to remember it. I know a lot of folks say, "Well, we shouldn't be sitting back trying to remember this and celebrating." Da, da, da. I don't think that people are celebrating it. I put this in the same aspect, and some people might disagree with me, and that's your right. But I put this Hurricane Katrina issue in the same perspective as forgetting my history, because black people were treated very badly during this time, and I don't think we should be forgetting it. See how you were treated. And then, of course, the other thing too, I want all those folks that said, see, those folks, they should have put their boots on and strap them up and da-da-da-da-da. Those same people that said that, and more than likely at some point in time since Katrina, within the 20 years, they've had some type of catastrophe too that is showing them the same thing can happen to you. Just because you are a little bit more privileged doesn't mean that Mother Nature can't tear your stuff up too.
Oh, I had people try to get political with me at work in Texas over it, talking about, oh, the Republicans are trying to steal food while black people are stealing or looting, you know, and I'm like, look, this is about survival. Well, how are they surviving with that? I'm like, they're just thinking that they can do something to comfort themselves. And yes, there were black people stealing food too, you know, when those stores busted open.
Yeah.
They didn't show all of that on TV.
No,
but
it
I
was
literally
automatically.
gave them the analogy that, you know, you had people that were drowning, that were looking for help. And they weren't asking what political affiliation you were a part of. They were asking for help. Mm-hmm. This is beyond politics. This is humane.
I got a friend of mine. I might invite her actually to come do the radio show with me. She is a national correspondent for CBS National. And I know that she's going to be doing some stories here in New Orleans. Her name is Katie Weiss. And Katie's more than likely going to be doing some national stories here about Katrina within the next couple of weeks. And I'm going to tell her to come and do the show with me. So maybe that some of the folks that, you know, that are listening to it, they want to tell their story on a national platform, will get a chance to do so. Maybe she'll find it more interesting to film you and be able to get those stories across to the public by filming you with that, because she don't know you, you know, so that might be something. I'm going to call and see if she want to come do that.
That don't sound like a bad idea.
Yeah,
like
some people need to hear those stories. They need to hear those stories. So, all right, T-Bone.
You know, all right, y'all.
Appreciate
Take
you.
it easy. God bless.
Let me let everybody know, too, as we are talking about the 20th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina, there's going to be a second line and rally and national moment of silence. Cessful 5 and all those good folks that are activists in our community are going to be putting together the New Orleans Katrina commemorative hip hop caucus. That is going to be on August the 29th. You actually can go online and RSVP at katrina20.com. Within the next couple of days or weeks, whatever we're going to do, I know Seth is going to come to the table like he has done before, sit down here at the table and give us all the details about what to expect. So that is going to happen. That RSVP is at katrina20.com. Okay. It's the Hip Hop Caucus, the 20th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina, second line rally, and national moment of silence. Our very own Dr. Shepard is also going to be a part. We're probably going to be a part of it. I know Cessful 5 is, and he's been talking about it for the last couple of months. So make sure that you're part of it. Go online and RSVP at Katrina20.com. Katrina20.com, the Hip Hop Caucus. All right, here's what we're going to do. I need to go through some other stuff in the news. What in the world, Darren Lombard? We got to talk about Darren Lombard. We got to see what's going on with him, with all this stuff that ended up in the garbage, in the trash. I think they went in there and got it. Oh, my, bruh. Come on. We're going to find out what it is. Everybody hold tight. There's more coming up on the 5 o'clock hour right here on WBOK.
From the campus of Xavier University, WBOK Go and Equity Media Station.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. President Trump says he supports Black Republican Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earl Sears in her run for Virginia governor, though he stopped short of a full endorsement. He called her race against Democrat Abigail Spanberger tougher than it should be and criticized Spanberger as a weak candidate. Earl Sears has not responded, but Spanberger's team slammed her for backing Trump's policies. Orleans Parish escapee Antoine Massey, who is Black, is pushing for a speedy trial to prove his innocence despite video showing him fleeing. His bond hearing is next month with trial set for October. His lawyer says the public has not heard, quote, the whole story, end quote. And Black New York rapper Fabio Foreign, whose real name is Maxie Lee Riles III, is out after serving 196 days in jail for allegedly pulling a gun on a woman in New Jersey. He was sentenced to time served and 3 years probation. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Some breaking news for those of you that have not seen it. Daniel Callahan, the man who kidnapped the mother and she got away, or he killed the mother, didn't he? He killed the mother. He killed the mother and then kidnapped the kids. And one of the kids he ended up killing, and the other one was not killed. They rescued her. He has pleaded guilty in court. So I think he pleaded guilty for a plea deal saying that he would not be on death row. But he did plead guilty. Yeah, I got to remember that was 14 months ago? That was a long time. Time go by fast. And you really don't realize how fast some of this stuff is until somebody brings it up. But he did plead guilty. All right, let me go to this too, because this is a mess. I mean, a real mess, a stanky mess. We got to talk about it though, because somebody gonna say, "Oh, you show favoritism to Darren." Staffers at the Orleans Parish Criminal Court had their hands dirty on yesterday to mitigate a records mess. Clerk Darren Lombard confirmed that his team went into the Gentilly landfill on Alamosa on Monday and Tuesday, where they worked without landfill staff to hunt for paper court records that were improperly dumped by city employees last week. And quotes, he said that it was quite an extensive effort and quite a mess. Let me be the first one to say, that's stinky winky. Felt like a Teletubby. You got the little purple, you got the little yellow. Well, which one are you?
He's brown.
Huh?
He's brown.
He brown now. That ain't funny. I'm going to tell Darren you laughing at him, bro. But they threw away the records. So unless you really understand what the heck just went on, you're trying to tell me that somebody had an order to go into your stash of records and just throw away the boxes? Hello? Can you hear the words? that are coming out of my mouth. You're trying to tell me that somebody just went into the storage and said, oh, what's that? I don't know, throw it away. The records of people that were murderers, rapists, them there. Did you get that story? You got that story? You didn't see it yet? I sent it to you. I put it up on your messenger. Oh, Lord. It's always the ponytail ones. I don't even know what that is, you know? I wish y'all could see how they treat me. When I say something that, it's just unjust, how they give me the finger. Do that too. So y'all trying to tell me that you went out there in the landfill with your staff digging in the boo-boo. You went digging in the doo-doo. You ready?
It finally decided to cooperate with me.
But you trying to tell me that the clerk of court was in the landfill digging in the boo-boo. That's one day that I don't want to hear you say, honey, I'm home. I knew you were coming before you got here.
Dumper diving.
I knew you were here before you even opened up your mouth. I could smell you. Darren, you know Darren gonna get me for this, right? Ew. You went in the landfill? Hold on a minute. What's that? Boo-boo.
Now you know why he and ha. I'm just going to play this because before you got to incriminate yourself
you got
further.
Oh, I got more for him. I'm just telling you.
I'm
gonna call him too.
I'm sure you are.
You got it?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Clerk of criminal court sifted through trash to save dumped court records.
Chris Joseph reports that clerk Darren Lombard says he's now relying on the city to find a better place to keep them.
Orleans Parish Criminal Clerk of Court Darren Lombard had to get his hands dirty this week.
It was quite an extensive effort and quite messy.
Lombard says his staff teamed up with the crews at the city landfill on Almanaster to save court records that Department of Public Works staff dumped on Friday.
It was pretty deep in there. Some of it was probably as deep as 30 feet down. Yes.
The records were being kept at a public works maintenance yard on Clark Street, and he says the dumping happened without his knowledge or approval.
I don't know where the breakdown was because we've sent them numerous emails about how serious this was and how these documents should be handled. And I'm perplexed as to how this happened.
He estimates 60 cases of files were salvaged, but it's still unclear how much has been lost. Lombard says those records are from court cases that are decades old, but necessary to keep because of how serious the cases are. He says he's gotten an opportunity to speak with incoming Chief Administrative Officer Joe Threat about what happened.
He was just as perplexed as I was.
Mayor LaToya Cantrell's administration did not respond to our request for comment. In the meantime, Lombard says court records, like those lost at the Public Works site, are being stored in city buildings across town. City of New Orleans Capital Improvement request records show the criminal clerk's office has been asking the city for space to help consolidate storage since at least 2021. Lombard says there are discussions of a new warehouse being fitted to store those records.
I don't know if it's been completely executed But we all are anticipating this because it's not just the clerk's office, it's other agencies as well who are running out of space and need somewhere to put things.
He says the salvage records are being returned to the Public Works site in a secure location. We reached out to leaders with the City Planning Commission about those capital improvement requests. We did not hear back. Lombard says he does not expect to return to the landfill, conceding any remaining records in that pile likely lost for good. Meg?
All right, thanks, Chris. A woman.
What? You ain't going back? I'm gonna have to call Darren. He need to take another trip out there. He said 30 feet down. Ew. And all that boo-boo. Ew.
The braids caught my attention.
Huh?
The braids caught my attention.
The braids? Whose braids? I'm just looking around and saying to myself, if y'all can see, look, that's a landfill. That's the photo.
That's just nasty.
That's nasty. That's everybody's boo-boo. And they had to go do that and pick up the court records.
That boo-boo you do.
So my question is, how y'all don't have enough space to keep your court records in? All these abandoned buildings that the city has. The rats. The rats are eating the drugs. The rats are high. Come on. And they got those yellow bins. Now, if you see, now, am I wrong? Because you see the yellow bin that they're in, right? They're in these black bins with the yellow tops. They're practically waterproof. So you can't break in them and see them. Whatever's in them. Do y'all understand what was in these bins? Do you get it? The clerk's records, court records. Do you all get it? Because I don't think the people really get it. They're like, whatever. Y'all know that some of these records are lost, right? And we don't know which ones are lost. So it could be a murder conviction that was held 20 years ago. If you don't have the records, it goes away. Show me the proof that I was a murderer and that I was in jail for 30 years. Show me the proof. If you can't show me the proof, I need you to take that off my record. Hey, Ron.
What up, G?
What's going on with you?
First shouts out to the Fatherhood Round Table, man, here Hippie Gun Club, Louisiana. In the most famous words of Johnny Guitar Watson, sound like somebody doing something slick downtown. We don't know what files are so-called missing, but they know what files that's missing because, it's what they do and what they continue to do.
Yeah,
Look at
but,
the situation
but
that happened with
understand
Jamie.
something. But understand something. If I got a file and it was put away in those bins, and that bin has been sitting there, or that file has been sitting there for 25, 30 years, and the file got thrown away, and there's no record of me being a convicted felon or a convicted murderer 25, 30 years ago, you don't have no proof of it, take it off my record.
Yeah, but you got to realize again, too. Now, I'm going to take that same scenario, what you just said. Why you think they don't want to legalize marijuana in the state of Louisiana? What some of our brothers are incarcerated for right now, other than other stuff, marijuana. So they're not going to take and legalize that here because they know if they do, they got to let some of them brothers and sisters out. Which here we are again. These things don't happen by coincidence. I know a lot of us just think, things like this just fall out the sky or, whatever. But, yeah.
Well, let me give you another scenario. Antoine Massey.
There you go. I was going there next.
Antoine Massey requested a speedy trial.
Mm-hmm.
Antoine Massey and his lawyer, they ain't crazy. Because and see, this is what folks don't know. When Jason Williams sat there and blamed another release of an inmate from the Orleans Justice Center and saying that was going to be number 2, and they were like, no, that's not number 2 for us. We got to look at that, da-da-da-da. You ain't heard no more of it, have you?
There you go.
You know why? Because it was him that let the people go. Y'all got to forget. Y'all see, people forget that Jason let 150 people get released with them Article 701s. That Article 701, he did not do what he was supposed to do, and those folks requested a speedy trial, and they had to have that speedy trial within 60 days. He didn't do it, and when he didn't do it, then people were released.
Yep,
that's the law.
And you talking about the same when he called for the 150. You remember he also got subpoenaed by the Merrill Merrill, however you say her name, in up there in Baton Rouge also, right?
Yep.
At the same time.
Yep.
And you know something else I find strange. Well, not strange because I understand the system. You dig? But it's always funny that Liz Morrell is, loud about everything. But when it was Ronald Green, when she was number 2 in charge, she sure was quiet.
Yeah,
she's
real
got
quiet.
billboards. She's loud on this, loud on that. But that's what that's some of the things what I be talking about when I call here about us doing for self, because them people, they show us who they are constantly, and some of us sit back and make excuses for they foolery what they be doing. You know what I'm saying? So again, only us is going to save us, no matter who the mayor, councilman, this one, that. Because look, let's not forget, everybody be saying, oh, the Democrats this good. Listen, neither one of them ain't nothing, because we just had a Democratic governor who told Ronald Green mama that her son was killed because his car ran off the interstate and ran into a tree. And it was some of our people that looked like me and you that kept up and perpetuated that lie, because some of our people, the Black Caucus, I ain't going to say no name, you heard me, but they knew what happened that night when Ronald Green was lynched. But they waited 2 years and come up with all this old fake outrage, like oh my God, this is so, man, shut up, man. You knew exactly what happened. And my understanding, what I put together is that, okay, boy, if you be quiet about this, we gonna let you get the mayor seat in Baton Rouge. Oh, all right. Yeah.
Shh, be quiet.
How? So again, man, only us gonna save us, man.
That's
I just
all.
want the community to know y'all have some real people out here fighting for y'all. Everybody don't post everything what they doing, but just know they got some real community people in the community. You know what I'm saying? Fighting and feeding the people. You know what I'm saying? Straight up.
There you go.
Straight up.
All right, hey,
all right,
Ron.
my brother.
Thank you, brother.
Take it easy.
All right.
Later.
Yeah. Let me go back to that. That was interesting. Y'all ever heard? And let me tell you why me and AA Ron were laughing when I brought up Antoine Massey's name. Y'all remember? I don't know if y'all remember that when he first took office. I'm talking about Jason Williams. When he first took office, he forgot and slipped up and then blamed it on his staff that there was a big mix-up on who was being released. So if you really want to talk about who was released more than anybody else out of jail, I think it was him that let out 150 folks without having a fair trial. But that's another story for another time. I'm being biased. And then had to go on TV and say, I messed up. Right? So, why am I bringing this up now? Because Antoine Massey's lawyer is not crazy. Because he came up and said, we have requested a speedy trial. What did that do? Bam. That put that Article 701 right back in place again. Article 701, for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, it says that the person who is being charged or being accused of a crime has the right for speedy trial. And if he or she, whoever they may be, does not get that speedy trial within 60 days, I think it's either 60 or 65 days, you have to let them go. Because they requested a speedy trial. And by law, you have to give it to them. So, Antoine Massey stated, oh yeah, by the way, I want a speedy trial. Why did he say that? And why did he think he should have a speedy trial? Somebody please tell me what you think your answers are why Antoine Massey and his lawyer have requested a speedy trial. I want to hear from you now. 504-582-9422. I want to hear your reasoning behind this. We got to take a break. Go ahead on and light my phone up while we in the middle of this break. We'll come right back to you and get your reasoning. Everybody hold tight. We got more coming up, y'all.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat. Nimbus is a black-owned marketing agency that's done successful work for brands like KFC, Jack Daniels, and Toyota. The firm focuses on making an authentic connection to people of color. Co-founder and CEO Stacey Wade says something as simple as music choice can be the difference between an ad that panders to black people and one that makes a genuine connection.
There are certain things that we're just going to know if that was a top 100 or was that something that was a subculture that's only played at this particular time with this particular group of people, and that's who it's going to resonate to. And that's where you start to get the low-key influencers. The low-key influencers are going to influence the influencer, and that's where you start to get that transformational change with the brand as opposed to transaction.
Subtle choices like that make all the difference between a brand that's winning new customers and one with a commercial that's only background noise. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner. On the Black Business Beat.
Pro Savings Days are back at Lowe's. Right now, get a 4-piece GE kitchen suite for under $2,000. Plus, get a free DeWalt 20-volt Max XR 8-amp-hour battery when you buy a select DeWalt tool. Save big with deals that work as hard as you do. Shop Pro Savings Days in-store or online today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 8/1. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
Seems like back to school happens earlier each year.
First day of school coming in hot.
And this year, my kids had massive supply lists.
Folders, notebooks, and pens. Oh, the humanity.
But Staples had everything I needed, with some items just 25 cents.
Watch the small print.
No. My back to school budget was saved by Staples Easy Button.
Everything for school, in stock and as low as 25 cents. Staples.
That was easy.
In-store, online, and on the app. In 23 while supplies last.
Trying to grow your business or increase traffic to your location? We can help. WBOK 1230 AM has a number of solutions that will meet your individual needs. Give one of our consultants a call today at 504-582-9420 or email us at info@wbok1230.com. And remember, an investment with WBOK is an investment in our community. Call today.
You're looking for a new ride? Don't waste time. Go see the finance man, Brandon Moore, only at Matt Bowers Ford in Metairie. That's 3724 Veterans Boulevard. Bad credit, no credit? Don't sweat it. Brandon works with all types of credit. He'll fight to get you rolling today with quick approvals, friendly service, real results. That's Brandon Moore, Matt Bowers Ford, 3724 Veterans Boulevard.
Come see me and we'll make it happen for you, baby.
New Orleans, get ready to laugh.
Join Inspire NOLA, K20, NSNO, and the Nord Commission, a free event for NOLA teachers, parents, and the community. Friday, August 15th at the Orpheum Theater, featuring comedians Frank White, Shady Feelgood, Rob Kazi, and Bruce, with performances by DJ Jubilee, the Big Six Brass Band, PNC, and Subtweet Sean, hosted by Tanya Boyd Cannon and Wild Wayne. Get your tickets and info at inspirenolaschools.org.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. Coming up at 6 today. Don't forget Arnie and Carrie coming up in about 35 minutes. Make sure you check them out, all right? Y'all think women get treated, you think women get treated worse than men when they're in charge of some type of political organization? You think they get treated worse or the same when there's probably some type of mistake?
I think worse.
It's starting to look that way, huh?
Yeah.
Because you think about this. They threw away records in the landfill.
Bet they won't do that again.
For years. These ain't, no one or two. I'm talking about these are bins, yellow bins of records that if they don't have these records, the ones that they're talking about, whatever's there, it goes away. So you're talking about people that went to court, murderers, rapists, everybody. All your record goes away. You don't have no record of the person. You don't have no record of their crime. You don't have nothing on it. Ain't no judge signatures, none of that stuff. And if you don't find it, you're letting somebody that was harmful to the community back on the street again. Because guess what? You have no record of their conviction.
Released on a technicality.
Exactly. So, and listen, I ain't picking with Darren. Y'all know me and Darren good. But the way they're treating Darren compared to the release of 10 inmates, we're talking about bins of records. Okay. All right. I'm going to leave it alone. What you say, Ron? No.
Well, it used to be at 90 days, but it's 701 release. That's how it's known on the street.
Yep.
But Calazera made it 180. And what the process was back then, to let the record reflect, when you get your 179th day, I recharge it again. So I know some people did 7 years before they went to trial under the previous administration. That's an old trick.
Mm-hmm.
So on the street, it's called a 701 release. And if they didn't do it within 60 to 90 days, if it was 60, then they got it to 90. Calazera went to the legislature, it's 180. So when it got to 179, they dropped the charge and rearrest you. Got another 180 days. And it went on. And some folks listening now tell you, but I want to say this, Gerard, and I'm going to hang up. I listen to folks come on the radio. They talk about all the great things they do, but that's the same people murder us in the community. I'm going to say me personally. I got actually character assassinated and threatened by some of these fake activists. And you know my other trade. If I read out who you are and what you're doing, you'll probably never call this radio station again. But I'm not going to do that because we need to not fight each other. So I'm just going to ask you, you know who you are, and if need be, I'll tell you who you are and what you said. If you listen to the morning show, it was a big misunderstanding. I'm not worried about me. But when my daughter said, Daddy, watch yourself, when my son said, Daddy, watch yourself, that's the part that's disturbing me. I got a child that's pregnant. So every time she said, Daddy, you got to watch yourself out there. And you got to hear the threats that come through. But I'm a big boy. You know me. I'm going to say what I always say. Comfort me, bring your lunch. Because we got to keep fighting, but not each other. And some folks get on the radio, talk to their organizations doing that. They're not even up to date. They riding on names, haven't done anything. But I'm going to give you a pass. But all I ask you to do, we need not to eat each other. Let's pay attention to what's going on. We're at the Battle of New Orleans for the last 8 years. I don't have to indulge in that. And now we got this trickery with everything going on is blowed up with what's going on at Tulane and Broad. So at the end of the day, let us not eat each other. Let us stay focused, stay the mission, and look at what's at hand. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to extend the olive branch. But I tell you, I'm worried about my child worrying about me, and it's not good. And it don't bother me because I'm not worried about him. But this is my child telling me this morning.
she listened to her. She said, Dad, I went born to tell you something. I said, baby, nobody going to do me that. But I'm worried about you. You think that's a fair deal? And folks know how it went. And at the end of the day, what I did, I'll do it again. I would do it again because it meant for all of us. It was about us, not me. So I say that to say this. When we did the expungement process, as you remember, Gerard, when you get expungement, it goes in your folder. So if I got clear for expungement and it keep coming up, that record is gone now.
Right.
So as well as the folks that's getting away with the criminal thing, the folks that got exonerated, got expunged, they're affected by that too. So I think the person in property management that had something, we need to bring them to the carpet. They need to come to the carpet. This is not a Lombard piece. It's not the mayor piece. That person in property management, you put it back there, right? You put it back there. You need to be on the carpet. We need to get to the bottom because I'm going to tell you from my end, some folks get those positions. They forget you serve the public, not your personal self. And we have a lot of personal stuff that happens in some of those folks in those departments. At the end of the day, you've got a strife in this city. Like I say, some folks that got exonerated, they lost theirs. And the folks that need to stay in jail or whatever, they're not there because somebody took it upon themselves. And there's a process in place. And that person was outside the process.
So what I don't understand in this process about the files, and I said I was going to call Darren to see if I could get him to come on, but I know I'm late. He's probably gone for the day. But I'm also looking at this and saying to myself, whoever threw away those documents, you're trying to tell me that they didn't open up the bins and take a look first?
No, it's the ego, Gerard. I tell you, people think they are the city, but you work for the city. All right, and what happens?
And who gave the
right
order?
Now, OPAC,
who gave the order?
That's what I'm talking. Who gave that order? Because let me tell you, right now, we have to go in OPP, and OPP is a record storage room for the clerk's office. We have to get permission to go to do certain things because they're on that. That's records and evidence. And when he took that out of there and brought it over on South Clark Street, the former brake tag station, who operates that? Who's the person for that? That person made that order. They the one did it. Oh, they never junk destroyed away. And it's a lot of that happens in city government. Folks come in, oh, we don't need that no more. Just throw it away. And there was a process. And I'm more than sure they had a process to bring it there. And it was labeled what it was, and you should have checked with the proper authorities. That's the bottom line. And that person need to be out on the carpet.
When you go back 10, 20 years, and a lot of that record gives the, I mean, think about somebody that's a murderer that got life, and they're in there, and their record just got thrown away.
Right.
You know, what does that say? And how, well, you know, why is my client in jail now? Because there's no record of him. And then the other part I got to say is, how come we didn't never microfilm those cases? We kept them in bins?
No, there was a process after Katrina, which I do know. We were doing the expungement piece. They had some records that was microfilm and some they had scanned. I don't know the amount and what, and those probably was coming up next, and they ran out of room. I do know they ran out of room because they need room at civil court, at the OPP for storage. There's a lot of records, a lot of evidence, and they preserve a lot of that. And they do have additional warehouse. Same thing with the civil district court.
But Ronald, you know, just like I do, right in front of the OJC, man, they got a daggone 17-story building like that. Ain't got nobody in it.
Right, and that should be another piece. Well, I understand the House of D, and then you got CCC, and he doing it with they're using over that OPP right now. That's mostly records and evidence. That's what they use that for over there. So I'm saying, and somewhere along the line, they took those records from there. And I don't know what the deal was it is on it, but they had them there, and it was in storage, and it was a good place. It didn't flood back there. It was good storage, and I still say I couldn't put this on nobody and the person who gave that order to do it, and they need to be dealt with. I mean, they really need to be dealt with because it's public records, and it was sealed records, and I'm on both sides of the fence. The guy that got exonerated, that needs his expungement paper said he was expunged, he's up a creek. The guy that's in jail that may want to appeal his system, he's up a creek.
Right.
So, and they need to be dealt with. They need to go right to it, and that's a piece that they bring you right to them. You don't have to guess on this one. Joe Sacha's head, he told his guys, y'all throw it away, don't worry about it. And he got out. And probably if he wouldn't have got out to the news, we would still be in the dark.
And it was not the people from the clerk's office. It was
no, it was not from the city. That's Park. We have to. I think it's Parkway Traffic and Property Management. But they need to get to the bottom of it. And those persons are persons, the director, assistant director, whoever gave that order, they need to be charged with malfeasance in office and injury to public records.
Well,
That's the deal. Somebody
I'm a wait
just
to go
sent that
by.
to me.
I'm gonna wait to go by Darren's office because they smelling like boo boo over there because they was digging in the trash yesterday.
They had to retrieve it, correct. Now, you think about this, Gerard, to our conspiracy people. Maybe somebody we know had something bad back then anyway needed to disappear.
I mean, we got to think about conspiracy. You and I have had many conversations about conspiracy stuff, and a lot of that stuff has come true. And and I'm looking around and saying to myself, I just can't discredit nobody when they say, well, there's some stuff that may have happened that should not have happened that is happening, and I'm like, I could see that. I could see that. And look, they showed the bins. This ain't no record sitting in no plastic.
Right.
They sitting in a great big old plastic black and yellow bin.
Right.
And I'm sitting there saying to myself, I'm like, wait a minute. You don't just throw away those things. They kept in those bins for safekeeping so that rodents can't get in it, so there can't be any moisture that gets inside of it because they sealed.
Correct. And I still say somebody or somebody's who made that call, they need to really, like somebody just texted me, a prominent lawyer in the city just texted me, it's injured a public record and malfeasance in office, and they need to be dealt with. And that's just reality to the game because you got a lot of people that's, matter of fact, the public. We could have a rapist, a murder, whatever out here. You don't have no record.
Don't have
you
no record
might have
of
an
it no
innocent
more.
person sitting in jail. Right. So we need to push that. We need to push that.
And if any lawyer is saying, oh, this is my client sitting in jail, let me check to see if there's a record of he or she that's in there, and they can't find the record, they got to release them.
Look, another lawyer just texted and said, what about a person that's fighting a multi-bill conviction? They got to get that other charge probably. We were straight on multi-bills. You got multi-bill conviction. You got life for doing 3 burglars or stealing a donut, stealing a bike or whatever. You go career criminal. You got life. So one of those multiple convictions could have been one of those records in there from 1970 and 1980 that could be tossed out there to get rid of the multi-bill sentencing. We got a lot of people that's doing time right now. I know several of them doing life for 3 convictions in simple burglary, minor assault, and theft. Multi-bill, and you're done. We were the capital multi-bill.
Right. So let me ask you this too, not to skip on to this, but to skip on to it. Antoine Massey, his lawyer has asked, and he has asked for a speedy trial. Are they right to do that?
Yes, they are. That's part of his constitutional right. He's not up to you and I. It's the law.
Yeah.
Everybody have a right to a fair.
But it made me ask the question why he do that, and then I said, oh, wait a minute, hold on, because I did a little research to say that this would kind of reach back to that Article 701.
701 release, right?
If they don't do it within 65 days, they got to release
it. It's 108. It's 180.
It's 180 now.
Got to change. Yeah, it used to be 60 days. They called it 60 days, and then it got 90, and he doubled it up with 180. And
so this is going to put them on their game now. You got to get your case together for 180 days.
Right. And I think that's not just for him. I think everybody should get that.
I think so too. There's no reason why. Right. And look, Antoine Massey, just to let you know, I know you know already, but Antoine Massey had been sitting in that jail for a period of time, and his charges were not accepted until 11 days after he got out.
Right.
Now he'd been sitting there.
Injustice, and that's one that we know about. We have several other in there.
Yep.
So
they sit in there 5 to 6 years, and nobody's touching them, or they can't get sentenced. I think that's a tragedy.
Right, and that's what should be our focus. I know we all tied up on the Saints in their preseason, a new quarterback, but we're talking about the fiber and the fabric of our community. Justice. It doesn't matter who it is. Injustice for one is injustice for all. Who's on the table, they need to be held reliable and responsible. All right, and we just got to take the politics in this city stink.
Yeah.
If I ran against you in 1991, I'm mad with you, and the people be mad with the people that won or didn't win.
Yeah.
The election is over. Let's do this and make it work for all of us, not a certain group, for all of us, and that's what we are. And I encourage everybody to participate and vote. But if your guy, a girl, young lady, a young man don't win, you still have to be along with them to govern. And to run this city, we need to get the city where we can be proud. We are proud of the city. I'm going to be honest. I'm proud of New Orleans. I want to be proud of. But I just think we need to come, instead of 75,000 people showing up, we need to have 175,000 show up to vote.
There you go.
That's what need to happen.
All right.
Thank
Ronald,
you, Gerard. Keep up the good work.
All right.
And I hope to talk to you soon.
All right. Reverend Calhoun.
Good afternoon, Professor Gerard.
What's going on with you, sir? How you doing?
I'm just trying to get some understanding. Do you really think this was politically motivated?
Has it ever happened before? There's so much politics going on in this city, Reverend Calhoun, and you know it, that they want to make it look like it's a mistake and that it is. So I'm the president of the conspiracy theory.
That's why
I got a whole bunch of members. I got a whole bunch of members of this here club. But I'm looking around and saying to myself, how do you throw away all these bins that this ain't no folders or no manila folders or nothing like that. These are big yellow bins. I'm sorry, with they're black bins with yellow tops on them. They are secure. You have to pick them up, put them in the back of a truck, and take them out. Who gave the order to throw those bins in the garbage? And nobody asked the question, what's in here? What we throwing away? Nobody said anything. They just put it in the back of a truck, took it to the dumpster, and threw it out.
And somebody just happened to go to the yard and find these big yellow bins and open them up to see what was in them.
I don't even know if that happened. I really believe that somebody was looking for somebody's file and couldn't find it and went to the storage area to go look to see where it was and found out that those storage containers were gone. That's what I think. Now, do I know that? I don't know because I have not talked to Darren.
It's so coincidental to me till it ain't even funny.
But how do you do that? That's what I'm trying to figure out. How did that happen? What type of breakdown? Now, Darren called it a what do you call it? He called it a real something. Dumpster. He said it was quite an extensive effort and quite messy to go out there in the dump and go get it. But I'm thinking to myself, somebody setting somebody up.
And I don't know. It's just
60 cases of
intriguing.
Files. Think about that. He said they salvage now, and understand his wording. Lombard said the workers salvaged an estimated 60 cases of files, but he did not say in that same sentence that they recovered all of them. He said there's an unknown number of documents that are still lost.
Yeah, well, something ain't right with this, Gerard.
Did you see the cases?
Yes, I did.
Those are like the cases you use when you're getting ready to move, or you want to put your clothes up and don't want the moths to get them or whatever. You put them in those types of cases. That's those types of cases for those folks that are trying to have a visual that have not seen. They need to understand this ain't no little bitty manila folder. These are actual big cases. And that's what I was like, you can't tell me you just throw those things away. And if they do, who gave the order? Because it had to be more than one person.
It had to be.
You talking about 60 of them things. That's a truckload. And I ain't talking about no pickup truck. I'm talking about that's like a 24-footer. A 14 or a 24-footer box truck that did that. So, what you think? You think it was done on purpose? Or you just think it was a mistake?
I think that it's mighty coincidental that this happened at this particular point in time. But anyway, I got to run, G. And,
I got you.
I need to talk to you a little bit later on.
I'm waiting for you.
All right, Doctor.
All right.
Bye-bye.
I don't think I'm wrong. Somebody said, wow. Am I speculating? George said I'm speculating. Am I speculating? George, call me, bro. I don't never tell you to call me. Call me. You think I'm speculating? Why you think I'm speculating? You think this was a speculation? somebody removed, and what would you say those bins were? They're about 2 or 3 feet long, at least. Probably, I would say 16, 18, maybe a foot deep. And they have those big tops that you put on top of it, and if you push down on the handle, it locks to that bin. And remember something. We're talking about not 1 or 2, not 3 or 4, not 10 or 20. We're talking about those bins being 60 plus. That's George. You want to do the break first? All right, George, we're going to do the break first. We're going to come back. But we're talking about 60 plus. Who gave the order? Was it a work order? Let's look and see. All right, y'all, more coming up as we get ready to wrap up the show.
AURN News.
I'm Ebony McMorris. 60 years after the Voting Rights Act was signed into law, the very protections that marched us from Selma to the ballot box are hanging by a thread. Today marks that 60th anniversary, and under Trump's second administration, the Justice Department has pulled back on enforcement. Now courts are questioning whether everyday people, not just the government, can sue when their voting rights are violated. Let that sink in. So if this Supreme Court rules against a private right of action, communities of color may have no legal recourse, no way to challenge racial gerrymandering like we're seeing in Texas, voter suppression increasing, and unfair election maps. This shift is dangerous, especially when we've seen the Department of Justice dismantle its own civil rights unit and Republicans push federal ID laws targeting Black, Brown, Native, and immigrant voters. What do we have left if we can't even defend our own right to vote? For AURN News, I'm Ebony McMorris.
It's Off the Top with Norman Robinson on WBOK 1230 AM.
There is a heated debate nationally and internationally about whether Israel is committing genocide in Palestine in the war against the terrorist group Hamas. I have no clarity on either side of the genocide question, but I'm damn certainly clear about what is not debatable: the intentional killing and starvation of innocent women and children at the hands of Israeli soldiers. Death and hunger in Gaza, according to the World Health Organization, is a man-made disaster since Israeli forces initiated a food aid blockade. Now, don't misunderstand my critique as opposition to Israel's right to defend itself against Hamas. It was Hamas who invaded Israel some 21 months ago in a despicable, barbaric attack, murdering 1,200 Israeli citizens and taking 250 hostages. Wiping out Hamas is totally justifiable. What is not justifiable is the heartless policy employed by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to order a food blockade against the starving, homeless Palestinian refugees who have been displaced because of the war. The United Nations says more than 1,000 Palestinians have been killed by Israeli forces while seeking food aid since late May. Moreover, 2.1 million people are without ample food supply, which includes 900,000 children. Gaza officials report that some 70,000 children are already showing signs of malnutrition. There is no earthly justification under God's Son for such abysmal cruelty. Shame on Netanyahu, who continues to drag his feet on a possible ceasefire while his military leaders refuse to take accountability for the attacks at food distribution centers, insisting they only fired warning shots to keep Hamas at bay. Well, you can put me down in the I'm not convinced column on that explanation. as Big Daddy opined in the play Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, sounds like mendacity to me. Even some of Israel's closest allies are beginning to condemn what some human rights advocates are describing as using food deprivation as a weapon. While it may not be genocide, it damn sure is inhumane. This is Norman Robinson, Off the Top.
New Orleans, are you ready? A fresh voice in the city is here, bringing you the beats, the culture, and the stories that matter. From local music and food to real talk on what's happening in the streets, we've got you covered. Stay tapped in. Follow us on all platforms at WBOK 1230 for the latest updates and exclusive content. Your city, your culture, your news. Don't just hear about it, be about it. Follow us at WBOK 1230 now.
Welcome to Chemical of the Month by the community scientists at Rise St. James. This month, we spotlight phthalates, chemicals added to plastics, especially PVC, to make them more flexible and durable. But there's more. Research shows phthalates may disrupt hormones, affect reproductive health, and contribute to environmental pollution impacting our communities. Join us as we explore how these additives shape our everyday lives and the world around us. For more details, visit risestjames.org. Empower your knowledge with Rise.
Ken Mass Studios and Lucky Johnson present The Praying Grandma, a stage play at the Cook Theater on Dillard University's campus, Friday, August 8th at 7 p.m. and Saturday, August 9th at 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. Host for the evening will be Dr. Monique Guillory, featuring Lucky Johnson and special guest Alicia Blue Eyes Renee. Come enjoy the family fun on Friday, August 8th at 7 p.m. and Saturday, August 9th at 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. Get your tickets now at eventbrite.com.
Got unpaid parking or camera tickets in New Orleans? Here's some good news. Through August 31st, you can take care of them without paying late fees. That's money back in your pocket. Just go to NOLA.gov/no late fees to see what you owe. You can pay all at once or sign up for a payment plan and break it into monthly payments at no extra cost. That's NOLA.gov/no late fees. NOLA.gov/no late fees. Don't miss out. This offer ends August 31st. Fresh produce, local flavor, and a healthy you. New Orleans East Hospital is hosting a farmers market the last Wednesday of every month from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Join us in the parking lot across from the main entrance. Support local farmers and your wellness. We'll see you there.
Hello, I'm Gary Clark. Please tune in to Dr. Clark 101, The Living Classroom, which is broadcasted weekly every Wednesday at 12:30 p.m. on WBOK 1230 a.m. on your dial. And as always, it's been a pleasure.
This year marks 20 years since Hurricane Katrina changed our city and our schools forever. New Schools for New Orleans is sharing After the Storm, a special series reflecting on the past 2 decades of change and progress in public education. Through videos, personal stories, and a powerful interactive timeline and data dashboard, we explore how our schools recovered, transformed, grew, and what that progress means for our students today. Discover the videos, data, resources, and stories behind the 20 years of change at newschoolsforneworleans.org/Katrina20.
Get in on the conversation at 504-582-9422. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Man, is this George?
Man. Bruh.
What you mean you don't believe no conspiracies? You the biggest conspiracy person on the radio station. What you talking about?
Bro, hold on. Let me say before I go there. I was looking at TV and they were showing them out at the landfill, right?
Right.
With their little mask on and gloves on.
Mm-hmm. And
it looked like somebody picked up a dirty diaper and had one of them plastic diapers. Looked like somebody picked up one of the plastic diapers and handed it to somebody else, and they threw it on the ground like, ah!
Oh, so they playing in the doo-doo. Mm-hmm.
Bro, they showed them on TV playing the doo-doo. And if they had to dig 30 feet down, I don't know how that was. But anyway, bro, your speculation, right, was that somebody went there looking for a file. And that probably would kicked it off. That's what I said. Oh, you speculating on?
No, I'm saying somebody probably was there looking for a file, and those files that were in those bins were gone. And they were like, wait a minute, well, where are the bins? And called back and said, hey, the bins ain't here. You know, what are you talking about? And then probably everybody started saying, well, where are the bins at? And then they found out, I guess through research, that somebody from another department had come over there and thrown those bins in the garbage. That's how they found out.
The first part, that went looking for a file part, that's the speculation, bro. This is an inside job, bro.
I got to give them the benefit of the doubt.
This is an inside job, bro. They're trying to do your girl so bad, bro.
She ain't had nothing to do with that. They ain't had nothing to do with. She didn't have nothing to do with that. Neither did OPSO.
You said that she was responsible for maintaining those files.
No, sir, not at all. That is the clerk of court that is responsible. That's why they in there digging for it.
Oh, that's where I missed. That's my misconnection.
See how that ain't no speculation. That's how stuff start.
Hey, bro, that's how it's gonna get
mess. You starting mess.
They're gonna be looking for one more stick to throw at her, bro.
Oh, it's gonna be more than one.
Yeah, well, you know they'd already dumped a truckload on her. Why not add one more brick?
Yeah, it's gonna be some other bricks, and it's gonna be from the people that you least expected from. So
that's what I'm saying. Ain't they got somebody in her office running for her job too?
Nuh-uh. Nope.
I thought somebody was inside in the PPS.
You started a whole lot of smack today. Why are you starting a whole bunch of mess?
Bro, I'm just thinking, bro. I'm like, it sometimes might be stinking, but I'm thinking.
How long I got? One more minute. Okay.
Might be like I saw him hand that diaper to the other person. They went, oh, that's a diaper, and threw it on the ground.
Why are you getting a kick out of that, though?
Because it's funny, bro. If they had to dig through 30 feet, they were just grazing on the top.
Have mercy.
So, look, bro, I got to say this, right? So do you really think that somebody actually went and looked for a file, bro?
I gave you speculation, right?
Right.
How did they find that the files were missing?
Bro, you know that guy Gwinnetchi, that's his name?
Gwinnetchi?
Yeah, he called and reported it, bro.
Are we done?
He called and reported it. Like that brother who was making too much money. Who was this guy called and reported it? A warehouse inspector? A professor?
We got to go right now. Goodbye,
all right,
George.
bro, before I go, if I ain't listen to WBOK, George G. Massey, with the reality check with Wick on the backboard, I'm going to miss out on an important black facts and some serious speculation I need to know.
Goodbye, George.
Bye.
What did you say? He got the story wrong twice. I don't even think he was listening.
Let's just say
he done
goodbye.
blamed it on two different departments.
Let's
he
just
done
say
put
goodbye.
it on the sheriff.
Let's just say goodbye.
Just say goodbye?
Yeah.
Bye, y'all. See you tomorrow.